But we have some wonderful natural resources in the city of Norwalk, and it's our duty to protect them and provide for the environment. Because if we don't provide for the environment, we have a 5-point plan outlining several issues that I'll push for the city to take a comprehensive and protective role and a proactive role. Leadership, first of all, to review and initiate comprehensive, proactive environmental management. Creation of an environmental task force is something that we want to do. For Norwalk to investigate the many ways Norwalk can find energy grants, integrate green building principles into programs, reduce energy savings for Norwalk taxpayers. One of the things that we don't do enough of is finding alternative sources of energy. For instance, the new firehouse would have been a perfect place to locate solar panels. We have to look at what's going to happen with the NRG property. What can we do there? Can we use that property for renewable energy sources? So it's really important for us to be on top of this and to be proactive. Leadership to protect Norwalk's waters. We have harbor, we have streams, we have brooks, we have ponds. Pursue SWRPA, state and federal funding to protect our water. Upgrade our stormwater standards across the board, and improve drainage to decrease flooding through use of innovative techniques such as green infrastructure, green roofs, and rain gardens. Employ new land use methods to ensure that Norwalk is fully prepared for any storms that threaten our coastline and the rest of the city. Number 3, leadership to preserve and protect Norwalk's open space. Norwalk's open space and parks are a source of pride to Norwalk's residents and an economic catalyst as we attract visitors from surrounding towns. As mayor, I will review the status of each public park comprehensively and proactively protect our city's parks and open spaces. Leadership to ensure that public health and environment is protected from our industrial past. If you look around, we've had several brownfields. The police department was a brownfield years ago. We got $400,000 from the state of Connecticut to remediate that property. Because as you know, years ago, it was just toss it out the window and nobody cared. So now we are paying the penalty for that. There are brownfields. You look at the proposed BJ site. That's a Superfund site. So the kinds of things that we need to do, we need to clean up the open space, make sure that we take care of any toxic environments that we have. Leadership to ensure that public health environment is protected. I already got that. As mayor, I will be proactive in working to clean up Norwalk's polluted and Superfund sites. Leadership to protect the city's air quality. I will seek to protect the public's health by ordering a thorough review of public and private sources of dust, sand, and other air pollutants by ensuring that contractor yards are properly managing their property. For instance, the property down at Wilson Avenue at the end of South Main Street. It's a classic example. They're capping that over. We want to make sure what's going to happen. That's in perpetuity. Well, it's very cold, I'm sorry. But how are we going to protect that property, and how are we going to ensure that when they remediate it and cap it, that it's going to be safe for generations to come? And while they're doing it, how can we protect the residents from the dust and toxics that's going to be up in the air, floating around the air, that they're going to be breathing in while this is happening? I also work to control odors from the city's sewage treatment plant. I don't know if you've ever driven by Fort Point Street and Van Zandt Street. The poor residents over there, I mean, at times it's horrible, it's unbearable. So we need to work on that to make sure that they're protected from that. So a plant that deters development and affects neighborhoods in East Norwalk and South Norwalk's quality of life. So it's just a 5-point plan, the crux of which is to create a task force to be working on these issues, to explore what needs to be done and take the appropriate action so we can make sure that Norwalk is protecting its waters, its open land, and the brownfield sites that we need to clean up. Well, that's yet to be seen. You know, we're going to announce it. We're going to ask for people with various degrees of expertise in various areas, and ask for them to serve on the task force. I know one person that probably would be very interested is probably standing right here. So, yeah, actually, there's 6 or 7 people that are, the task force might be right here, who knows? But it's really critical that we take a proactive stance in that, because we really need to make sure that we protect our natural resources, and that's really what this is all about.
Okay. We just wanted to say a few things just to,
Please, be my guest.
First of all, so sorry it got so cold so quickly.
Yes.
The sun just went down, but we overlook our historic harbor today, and a place where there's industrial past and future and present, and we gather to endorse a person that we feel is going to proactively, not reactively, address the issues that Harry just talked about. The only thing I wanted to just add to what you said, Harry, was issues that are so important. I was one of the first harbor management commissioners under Bill Collins, and in our harbor right now we have some old industrial sites that the public asked for a public hearing on several years ago, and we're concerned that there still may be leaching just on Platt Street, on the Oyster Shell Park, on Meadow Street, and we want to make sure that there's a proactive way to keep the public informed, and we feel that, and I feel that Harry will make sure that the state and the federal government, who have the final say-so on the cleanup, knows that Norwalk cares about this, and so that we will be put at the top of the list because we're proactive. Right now, they hardly ever hear from Norwalk on these cleanup sites, and so what I do is I gather petitions, and we have public hearings. We are going to have a public hearing about the sewage treatment plant December 2nd, because again, the public wants to talk about the odor and other things. So I'll hand off. I thank you so much for being interested in the topic. I wanted to see if anyone else here would like to speak. We have a lot of environmental leaders. We have Mike Mushak, who's a zoning commissioner and a certified landscape architect as well.
Hi, I'll keep this real brief. Real brief. But a lot of people don't realize that every time it rains, stormwater is the phrase that's used in professional circles. Stormwater is anything that comes from the sky, snow, rain. That picks up toxins off of streets, off of lawns, off of industrial sites, off of parking lots, and it goes mostly directly into the Sound and the river. Billions of dollars are being spent by cities all around the Sound, by the federal government, state government, lots of cities, with updated standards to clean up the Sound. It is a crucial natural resource, the Sound and Norwalk Harbor and Norwalk River, for recreation, for the oyster industry, which is a huge industry, for fishing, for basic ecology. And the thing about Norwalk is we have obsolete drainage standards that we have been trying to update for years. And without naming names, I would just say that there has not been an interest in the current administration to update those standards, and it's very important to have those updated because we are the last city on Long Island Sound to actually have updated standards. And right now we approve parking lots that when it rains drain oil and toxins into the Sound, when so many people are concerned about the health of the Sound because it is the main natural resource that we need to protect in Norwalk. And so I think, I know that Mr. Rilling is on board with reviewing these standards in the future and improving the current standards so that we have a protected Sound, so that when we know every time it rains, we're not just dumping pollution into the Sound.
Also wanted to see if Bill Wrenn, former Councilman Bill Wrenn, also former president of the Land Trust, and also a naturalist.
I'm very excited to be here, very excited to be supporting Harry, and I love the 5-point plan. I think that's something we haven't heard from in a long time from mayoral candidates. Even talking about the environment is a really positive development. And we're only cold out here, but I just want to show you a photo. This is one of Norwalk's beautiful open spaces, Oak Hills Park, and it's one of those things that we need to protect. We need to protect not only playing fields and other places for outdoor recreation, but we need to protect this. And this is what protects the environment and compensates for some of the effects of global warming. And we need to protect different kinds of landscape, just like we have a diversity of people, we have diversity of landscapes, and they all deserve protection, and that should be part of the open space plan, and I'm sure it will be. Thank you for being here.
Well, I wanted to thank everybody else for being here too, because, you know, nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something, and these people are advocates of a clean environment. And with people like these working hard, working for free, to try to make Norwalk the cleanest it can be and as environmentally friendly as it can be, they make my job much easier when we start talking about a 5-point plan and moving forward and making sure that we clean up Norwalk and we take care of our natural resources. And it's critical for us to do that, and I thank all of them for their diligence and due diligence.
Great.